Okay, Brent. So, how was your Rangerstop experience?
Oh, it was mixed, very mixed. We'll put it that way. Let's talk about the positive.
Okay, let's start with the positive.
Because Francis, I understand. Because I have friends that are telling me you need to tell them to fuck off. I'm like, you guys know me, but Brent, you're too classy, you're too nice. But I'm like, that's not who I am. We deal with things by talking, and the way I fight back is by going on channels like Henry Resilient, because I know if I tell them to fuck up, they're gonna say like, "Oh, you're violent, you're this and that," and
you could tell them fuck off in like a classy way. What I'm saying is like, you don't let, I wouldn't let people step over me, right, and push me over just because of, they feel they can. I feel like that's how they feel with you. Like they feel they can push you around, and that's not true, right? Because you do come on the shows and you do talk, whether we agree or not. You do talk about it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Right. And the situation tomorrow, I have to make a split decision. Like, do I react a certain way or do I de-escalate? Because if I escalate, that's how bad the situation was. What is it going to turn into? And do I want to get out of this safely, or do I want to take a risk?
God,
that's how. And France, you'll be surprised who this is. So anyway, when we're
talking
about the positive, so I met a nice Yellow Ranger, Charlie.
Oh, okay. So nice.
She was great. We talked about maybe 45 minutes, half an hour, 45 minutes, because it was very empty Sunday. And I talked to a few other, like Simba, and then the guy who sang in Lion King 2, and then I talked to Giovanni Samuels, and then Kerrigan Mahan. He had a lot to say about Haim Saban. He hates Haim.
Okay.
He was like, I had like a print for him to sign, and he's like, don't. I told him not to write over the Saban sign, and he's like, I really want to because that guy's a douchebag. And I'm like, oh, have you met him? I'm like, oh, yes, I have, and he's a piece of work. And I was like, oh shit.
Well, he's known to like speak his mind openly, right? He's
right
for that. Kerrigan, right? Mahan.
Mm-hmm. Mahan. Okay, so let's talk about why most people are watching this channel, including the Ninja Watchers. So I come to the con, everything's fine, and all of a sudden I go outside in the hallway, and there's someone, I believe her name is Christy, I believe that's what her name is.
Uh-huh.
And I'm confronted by her and the head of security. I believe, her. Oh,
he said, "Oh."
I've seen too much of her yesterday. Just take it down, please.
Okay.
Take it down, please.
Let's go.
Oh my god. Yeah. Okay, so, and I'm confronted by the officer with her, and then the head of the security. His last name's Tate. I think Stephanie can confirm this. And they're telling me, you need to stop. Who are you, and why do you go to these concerts? Are you a fan or not? I'm being interrogated. Are you a fan or not? And I'm like, holy shit, what is going on here? And he's like, why are you asking Steve about Zach, Galactic Protective, or Zach? I'm like, well, I need to know these things because I want to know. And he's like, he told me, Steve is telling me, or these celebrities that you're questioning, they're telling us to have us talk to you because they don't want to deal with you face to face. I'm like, oh, really? And they're like, if you don't stop asking these questions, then we have to consider banning you from the cons.
Damn.
And then I was like,
from their con.
Yeah, yes, okay. Yes. And I'm like, are you gonna stop? I'm like, I need to know who I'm supporting, and you have no right to tell me whether I'm a fan or not a fan. and I left it at that. And then they left, and then she confronts me again in the hallway, that same hallway, and there was
Right
a
after,
guy.
again.
Yes,
Later on, right after.
Probably 5 minutes after, because there was a Henry Resilient watcher. He was in a wheelchair, and I was talking to him, and he asked me if I was okay, and I was like, not really, but. And then he talked to me, and then she comes up to us again, and she said something like, "You're gonna have a positive experience. We're all about positivity here." And I'm like, "Oh shit!"
I swear, they're like the biggest hypocrites. Okay, I'll continue. I'm sorry.
Yeah, they're the biggest hip. And then are you a fan or not? She asked me again, and I'm like, "Oh shit." I really want to just get her off my site, but I just don't have any power to. That's just not who I am.
So, can I ask you something, Brent?
Yeah.
Would you go again after having like that experience, having you questioned by someone that probably doesn't even?
I would find other way. I would travel to another country to see the people that are at Rangerstop rather than to go back.
Oh shit! And you've been going to Rangerstop for years.
Just last year.
Okay.
Orlando and Atlanta. So it's not like for
But you see that, you see what happened, right? Brent had such a negative experience that now, at the end of the day, they need us, right? They need the fans. So if you're basically antagonizing and they're basically trying to change who you are, like, are you a fan or not? Of course you are. You were clear. You were saying, hey, I need to know who I support. You're not being offensive. You're not being like, you know what I mean? Now you know. Like I personally, like if I was Brent, I would feel the same way. I would never go because why would I put myself in that situation again?
Yeah, it's crazy. And then I kept seeing Steve walk around. He was staring at me. I'm like, oh, you are such a coward. You don't want to, at least Austin St. John is willing to talk about it with me face to face. As much as you disagree, at least Austin is willing to discuss with me. Because I told Austin John, I'm not buying anything from you when Zach Taylor McGinnis is your agent. And he's like, you have a lot of guts to do that in front of my face because a lot of people won't do that. But Steve, he won't even do that because he's a coward and he hides behind his security and Karen's friend or whatever her name is. And we're not done here. Stephanie Dana will confirm. So when I went to go to the ATM, which is across the street, some guy in a wheelchair, a different guy, tells me Karen wants to speak with you. And I'm like, what the hell? Karen sent a guy in a wheelchair to go up flights of stairs and go across the building to track me down.
It's like I can't like it sounds like a movie. I'm sorry, Brian.
Was it Dr. Evil?
And people are gonna say, "Oh, I'm just trying to distract so I'm here to talk about other topics." Well, you can. If you don't believe me, then that's your right, and whatever.
I believe you. That's why
I believe you. You know me. I've been believing you from day one.
Oh my god! And Stephanie Dana will confirm, because she said she's a volunteer that the ATM is in another building. So Karen had to ask people where this guy was at that particular moment, and they probably told him he's getting money from ATM because I don't know who told them, but anyway. So I went back to the con, and then I went to Karen's table, and Karen all of a sudden comes out of the Henry, could you put that down, please?
Okay, all right. We're talking about Karen Ashley, guys.
And then all of a sudden, out of the blue, she comes up to me and she's like, I know what you did. I was like, excuse me, you know. I was like, I have 3 witnesses, and people like me, we will go to the end. And I was like, what are you talking about? She was like, have a nice life. Okay, I know what you did, and Henry's gonna sue you because of you secretly recording people.
Henry?
And I was, yeah, because Henry's posting the recordings, and apparently That's I don't know what that is. That's defamation. I don't know why.
I can't.
I don't know. I don't know.
Idiot if she said that's
She didn't-
defamation.
No, she didn't. She didn't say that, but I'm just speculating as to why she's so angry. That's speculation, Henry. I don't want them to come after me with that.
Oh my god.
And keep in mind, I'm not in the straight of mind. So Stephanie Danis apparently heard what was said, so she'll probably she's not being confronted in the middle of a con like that. And I was like, holy shit. I mean, and she's like, you go to these cons or whatever, and you secretly record.
Oh, so
what?
She's confronting you because you're recording.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm secretly recording, and there's apparently she has 3 witnesses, and I was like, I couldn't believe what was going on, and then I left, and then I'm like, oh my god, am I seeing Stephanie Dana near Austin St. Oh, am I seeing Stephanie Dana near Austin St. John's booth? Like, what is going on? Am I hallucinating? Like,
I was not planning to be at that booth, but that's where they put me.
Right. But what I think in my mind, like, oh my god, am I hallucinating? Like, I'm so pissed off. Like, I can't think. I'm out of here. And you probably saw how distraught I was, right?
You were shaking up really bad, and that was what was getting me a little worried. But unfortunately, because I knew where they were watching me from, I couldn't talk to you. They were watching me? They were watching me. Because of me being at Austin's booth. They were watching me. And because
really?
close to his booth, they then had you in his sight, their sight.
You were working in Austin's booth?
Yes.
Even though they know you come on the show?
Yes.
So
yeah,
I was thinking to myself, oh my god, this is crazy.
So Stephanie, what did you see? Brent, I muted you just for the background noise. What did you see, Stephanie?
Well, I didn't see the full thing. I heard it.
Oh.
It was not quiet. It was a loud confrontation. So where Austin's booth was at the end of the back row. So like you could go out the side door and back up towards like the front. So that's where his booth was, and it gave me a clear vantage point all the way down to the other end where on Saturday Kel was at. Because we had Kel there for Friday and Saturday. And with Karen being like right in the middle, I could definitely see her booth. And it was pretty much right at that point was the dead center point for where Brent was at. And it was loud. And yeah, what he said definitely is accurate. And
about what? What was he accused of?
About that he was supposedly recording when, we all hold our phones differently. We're not all gonna be robotic on how we hold our phones.
Doesn't matter. If it was a one-party state, doesn't matter.
It is a one-party state. And I know Brent. I've been to cons with Brent. He has phone in the hand like this and bags in another hand, and he's like reaching in and out, taking pictures for autographs. And he has a book back on sometimes, but he keeps the phone in his hand. He's like, he's like this.
Yeah, that's exactly how it was. And
wow.
I was trying to keep a watch because if I had to if I could try to get over to him, I would have. But every time I would try, people would come up into Austin's booth, and I'm like, damn it. I can't intervene. I can't do anything. And also because of the whole see something, say something, we're not allowed to intervene now. We're pretty much told we have to go get somebody else to intervene. We're no longer allowed to intervene and try to diffuse the situation.
Okay, let's hear from Brent. So what happens after they confront you, Brent?
Which time are you talking about?
After Karen Ashley tells you to have a nice life.
Excuse my language. I left, and then I I see Stephanie dating these options. I'm like, this is. Am I? There's something I'm not thinking straight. Like what? And she's talking like the friendly. I'm like, what? What is going on here? I'm out of here. So I just left, and I went to the airport. It was just like a lot. It was just crazy. I was like, yeah. I wanted to talk, but I was like,
did you ever think that Karen Ashley would come at you like that?
I didn't think it would be for me. I mean, I'm sure she would have done it to other people, but especially since she doesn't have the proof, because I know she's lying because I've never recorded her secretly, so she doesn't have the proof she's lying. But I never thought that she would do it to me, especially since we've been so friendly.
So
but I think it started.
Hers?
No, but because it's easier because she wasn't one of my favorites. She's just like a supporting character that you support. Like you do that with all the movies that like Lord of the Rings, Star Wars. I mean, you support the supporting cast as they form. They're what makes the movies to some extent. And I think it started at Fan Expo Philadelphia because I questioned Karen about Paul Friedman's involvement with Zachary Taylor McGinnis, and I asked her, Paul Friedman, I'm a huge fan of Ivan Ooze, and you need to tell me if Zach took Rangerstop Atlanta, because if he did, I will not buy anything from Paul Friedman. And she's like, don't worry, Paul Friedman booked independently. Zach did not book this yet. Karen, are you sure about this?
So you think?
Are you sure about this?
You think she's lying?
And she's like, yes. I'm like,
Instagram. He promotes him at the show.
I was
this
trying.
Is unbelievable.
I wanted to get to you, but unfortunately, by the time you were at his booth, you were already handing him money, and I couldn't say anything because I was trying to warn you.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, because he was late for a flight or something.
Yeah.
And so all his Galactic production signage was down.
This is she said Brett, don't worry. Paul booked independently. You don't have to worry.
So here's the thing: when they say, and this comes from not just a Rangerstop thing for Atlanta, but also with Orlando. When they say they book independently, they do book independently to Mikey and them because of the fact of they don't have to go through their actual agents. Angel, get down, baby, get down.
Right.
They don't have to go through their agents to do the initial booking. A lot of them are now starting to go that way because that's the quickest way to get in. And then once they're in, then they'll set everything up with their agent. That tends to be what I'm seeing now. And I think that has to do with what they're thinking is going to be the quickest way to get in versus trying to do the long route.
But I don't think Paul Freeman needs a quick way, right? He's very
no. Well, I know he wanted to do, or he was supposed to be there for Orlando last year, but situations occurred and he couldn't come.
Well, for Brent's defense, you didn't know Brent. They lied to you. They told you whatever. So if you, I mean, it's not your fault.
They're aware that you think ASJ don't talk and be like, yeah, Brent doesn't want to support me because I'm booked through Galactic Productions. They all talk. So they know to tell you, hey, tell Brent you're not booked through Galactic Productions. He'll spin with you.
That's just unbelievable because she made it very clear to me, and I took her word for it because I was very clear with her. She basically lied to me, so that's that's whatever. And then Steve was at that same booth, and I asked him, "Why are you still? Why not? Why are you still with Galactic Productions?" And then Chrissy's like, "We're not about that drama." I'm like, "Lady, you're lucky that I'm not a confidential person. I'm gonna leave with the authenticator." And yeah, so that's what happened. That's where it all started, because she thinks I'm all about drama when I talk about, because what Zach did is unacceptable. I don't care if I don't like JDF. I'm doing more to honor his legacy than Steve Cardenas is doing, which is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, they have a whole banner, green and white banner about all remember JDF, right? It's all
Yeah.
about money.
Right.
Yeah.
And we can't accept that behavior. If someone said that about my family members, I'm not like Francis, but I understand her sentiment. Um, they would be dealt with a different way with politics. I would make sure that they would pay, but it would not be through violence. But that's not.
Oh, I
But
mean,
I respect.
I don't fight. They're not crazy, but I would curse them the hell out. Everyone, you see, if she would address to me like you, like yelled at you, you're a grown man. Brent is a grown man.
Mhm.
God forbid somebody would come and yell at me, because that would be the last thing they did. Because if it's a man, I will get a brother, I will get somebody. It will be done, right? Because that's not. First of all, you're a fan. To go out of your way to have someone stalk you outside of the fucking event, someone in a wheelchair at that, you know what I mean? Make that person go over there, get you, and then to yell at you like you were a child. I'm sorry, Brent, and I mean, to me, that's harassment. I feel like you're being harassed now at this point.
In reality, and coming from the volunteer side of it, not just with Rangerstop, but in the general sense of the volunteering community, it definitely shows a bad light to any convention when you're confronted like that, because that's not how any convention is supposed to work. You're never supposed to be confronted in the public. If you're going to be confronted, it's always to the side and one-on-one, because that way then you get the straight and narrow on it. It's out of the public view to where you're not going to be where you're not going to feel like you're ridiculed then.
Yeah. It was in front of everyone. Maybe it was
And
intended to embarrass Brent.
but it shouldn't have been. And if that was the case, that definitely is not. That's not how any convention is supposed to work. And I am sorry that happened to you, Brian. I really am, because that mortified me on a volunteer level of it. That mortified me, but on a con goer side of it as well, that was straight up appalling, because to me, I wouldn't have been so calm as you.
Yeah, Brent.
And I'm being honest with that, because I am the mouthy one. I'm not going to sit here and deny I'm not. I'm the one that apparently I've got bigger balls than the size of Texas. Apparently, I'm just going to put it out there like that.
Yeah.
But you know, to be ridiculed like that and to pretty much be asked, well, are you a fan or not? That to me says the aggressor shouldn't have been around. The aggressor needed to like tone it back and take, instead of one step back, there needed to be at least 20 steps back. Reevaluate the question and be like, hey, I know you're here for a one-day thing. How come you didn't do a whole weekend? How come you didn't do anything else? Like, what was your reasoning behind just the one day? Then it would have been a different story. Because, not everyone wants to do the full weekend. Not everyone wants to be able to do that, or not everyone has the time, especially if they're coming in from working.
Yeah.
One days are a quick, easy thing too. And yes, it was the last day of the convention, which meant you missed a good portion of it, but it also went with what your schedule was.
Yeah. So,
and that also has something to do with it. Not everyone has the same schedule of availability.
go ahead, Brent.
Right, but that doesn't matter. You shouldn't be subject to that whether you're a full day pastor or one day. And the reason why I wasn't there the whole weekend was because I was at another con in Texas, and I flew in early in the morning to see Rangerstop because there were certain people I wanted to see, and that's why I did that. And what Karen did is absolutely. I mean, I kept my cool because I know how people can be if you are aggressive or confrontational. I've seen it with when people, they get aggressive, even when they have the right. They say like, this person got aggressive, this person did this, and she's one of the con owners, and I kept my cool, and because I knew you heard Stephanie, you heard it. People are going to say you're just trying to distract so Henry doesn't talk about other topics, and you can't talk to those people. But I'm speaking out because people need to know about people like Karen.
Okay, on a positive. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah.
What
they know about Karen. Yeah.
Go ahead, Brent. You
go ahead.
Yeah.
They need to know about Karen, and her behavior is absolutely unacceptable. But unfortunately, what I experienced yesterday is not the worst I've experienced from these Rangers, as you will see tomorrow.
Okay. What is your Starbucks order, Brent?
What?
What is your Starbucks order? People want to know. What is your Starbucks order?
Well, I got like the caramel crunch frappuccino. I just have to get something because just to cool down from a insane day at Rangerstop.
Little sugar rush. All right. Well, look, Stephanie, Dana, I'm gonna drop you down.
Yep.
All right.
Thank
She
you.
She came to corroborate your story. I still got some other people in the back. Thank you, Stephanie. Any last words, Brent? We appreciate you sharing your story, your unfortunate experience with not only just Karen Ashley, but her favorite childhood friend, Christy.
Oh, is that her friend?
Yeah, they've been friends.
Christy, okay.
From the band Crush from back in the day. Any last words, Brent? That if you could talk to Karen right now, what would you say to her?
If I talk to Karen right now, I didn't secretly record you. You need to, if Henry, you care more about Henry Resilient than you're willing to let on. And his channel.
That's a truthful statement.
His channel is growing, and I asked about Zach McGinnis because I do not want to support people who are glad people are dead, and if people like and I want to speak to Steve as well. If you're all about money, that's your right, but I won't support you, and you should be ashamed of yourself for claiming that you're JDF's friend, yet you're continuing to associate with an agent that would do such things. And and tomorrow's stream will be very interesting because what happened yesterday, I mean, it was bad, but after what I experienced, it wasn't nice.
All right.
We'll leave that.
That is Brent, everybody. Enjoy your Starbucks. We'll see you tomorrow for your story.
Oh, sure.
All right. Okay. Be safe. Stay away from Karen Ashley and her friends. Hopefully they don't run up on your ass at Starbucks. All right. All right. That was Brent.